What it do, style crew? It's your girl JayStyles, and I'm back with another video. So today we have this mock neck top, front and back. So cute. Now let's get started. You will need Red Heart Super Saver yarn. For 6.5 millimeter hook or a K hook. We're jumping right into this video. Guys, my broken nails are really bothering me, but I really want to make this video, so whatever. I'm not going to go into depth with what I'm doing because I've shown you guys my foundation chains, but we'll be starting 46 foundation chains for this top. This is for a size small to medium again. If you guys don't want to do foundation chains, you're going to chain up 47, go into the second chain from the hook, and work your way down. But for my foundation chains, we're going to make 46 of them. Then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you guys how we keep going. Small swatch to show you guys what we'll be doing. So let's pretend we have 46 of these. When we get to the end of the row, we're going to chain 2, turn our work, skip the first one, go into the second one, and work our way all the way down until we get to our chain 2. And then when we get to our chain 2, we're going to put a double crochet in our chain 2. And I'll show you guys what that is. Here we are coming up on our last 2 stitches. So this is a stitch. On our chain 2 right here, we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, double crochet, chain 2, turn our work, and repeat. Skip the first one into the second one, and then right into the chain 2 at the end. So on the screen, I have added the amount of rows that each size will have to do. For a bigger size, you would do more rows. For this size, I'll be doing 12 rows and then 3 rows of decrease. All right, guys, so coming up at the end of the row, we're going to place our last double crochet in our chain 2 space. Now we're going to chain 2, turn our work. We're going to skip the first one, of course, and now we're going to decrease. So for the next 3 rows, we're going to decrease on the ends of each side so that we can bring in our top. So I did my decrease. I've done decreases so many times throughout my channel. So I'll show you guys what the decrease looks like at the end. We're going to work our way all the way down until our last 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3 to finish out our decreases. We're going to decrease over these 2 stitches, and then we're going to put 1 more double crochet right here. So I'm going to work my way all the way down, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like at the end. All right, so to decrease, we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, wrap our yarn, pull through 2, wrap our yarn again, insert, pull up a loop, wrap your yarn, pull through 2, wrap your yarn, pull through all 3, and that's how we make a decrease. So now we're going to put 1 more double crochet in the end of the row, and we're going to do the decreases on both ends for 2 more rows, and then I'll come back and I'll show you guys how we finish out our top. All right, guys, so coming up on the end of the second decrease row, I wanted to show you guys what it's going to look like when you decrease over a decrease. Turn your work and start working again. Decrease. Chain 2, turn your work, skip the first stitch and the second one. Now we're going to work our double crochet all the way down until we get to our decrease, and then we're going to do 10 rows of normal double crochet. So I'll show you guys what it looks like when we get to the end of the row. Alright, so now you guys can see that we have our 3 rows of decrease. We decreased on each side. You can see our decreases on each side. So now we're going to chain 2, turn our work. So now for 10 rows, we're just going to do straight double crochet. So we're just going to put a double crochet right here and all the way down, and our last double crochet is going to go in our chain 2, of course, for 10 rows. So we're going to work this normal pattern of double crochet for 10 rows, and then we'll start to work on our shoulder pieces when we come back. This is the chest part of our top. And we're just going to keep crocheting until we get there. Alright, so this is how we end our normal row in our decrease in our chain 2 space, chain 2, turn your work right there. Alright, so this is row 2 out of 10, and I'll see you guys when we are done. Alright, so as you guys can see, we have made the curve to our top with decreasing on each side for 3 rows and then our 10 rows. And now we're going to mark off where our shoulder pieces are going to go. So I'll be working 12 stitches in, and I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to mark it off. Alright, so here we are. I like to count this as a stitch because I work in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So in this stitch right here is where we're going to put our stitch marker. And then we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we're going to place our stitch marker in there. Alright, so we know what that means. We're going to chain 2, turn our work, and work our way down to our stitch marker. So I did 4 rows for my shoulder piece. So I'm going to do 4 rows here, detach, do 4 rows on the other side, and then our first panel will be done. We are coming up on our stitch marker, inserting, placing a double crochet, chaining 2, turning our work, and working our way down. So like I said, a total of 4 rows. Fasten off, and I'll meet you guys on the other side where we attach and do 4 rows there. Alright, so here we are coming up on the end of this. We are going to insert into our chain 2 space, create our double crochet. I like to leave a long tail because I use this to slip stitch the top together. So I'm going to cut a long tail, fasten that off. Alright, and I'm going to create a slip knot. Find my chain 2, insert my hook, I like to make this tight. So I like to secure this by kind of doing this right here and pulling everything together. Now I'm going to chain 2 and insert into the top of the next stitch and work my way down until my stitch marker. So that is how you reattach to this side. And the same thing of chaining 2, turning our work when we get to our stitch marker and working 4 more rows for our shoulder piece. Alright, so I'm going to leave you guys to that and come back when my panel is done. So we're right here at the end of this. I did my double crochet. I'm gonna leave my long tail, snip, fasten off, wrap my yarn, pull through, pull tight, and guys, there we have our front panel. So basically our back panel is going to be 2 back pieces, but we're going to be missing the middle because that's where we're tying everything together. But now I'm going to show you guys how we're doing our back panels. So I'm going to show you guys how to make one panel, of course, and then you're just going to double it and make a second one, and then I'm going to show you guys how we put it all together. So again, here we go, starting off with our slip knot, foundation chains, foundation chains. If you don't want to do foundation chains, you will chain up 17, go in the second chain from the hook, and you'll have the number we will have for this starting back piece. So I need you to do 16 foundation chains, or you can do it in the way that I just told you by chaining 17, second chain from the hook, and you'll have the same amount that we do. So go ahead and make your foundation chains, and then I'll see you guys back and explain to you guys how we do our back panel. Ever since I learned how to foundation double crochet, haven't looked back since, y'all. Okay, so we're back with our 16, and I just realized I haven't showed you guys how I count these foundation chains. So we start off here. Our chain 2 counts as a stitch, so this is 1, and then we start our counting with this being 2. So if you don't want, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 is right here, and 16. So now when we chain 2, this is 1, and this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's how we do it. So we're going to follow the same pattern, 12 rows of double crochet, 3 rows of a decrease only on one side, because of course it's just going to be on one side, not on both sides. And then 14 double crochet going up because we did 10 and 4. So 10 plus 4 is 14. And that is how we're going to finish out our back panel. All right, so here we are with our 12 rows. I like to work on the tail side where I put my decrease because I want to hide my tails in on the seam. So that's why I like to put my decreases on this side. So my decreases for the next 3 rows will be only on the side with the tail, not on this side. So we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and do our decrease. Now 1 double crochet all the way down into our chain 2 space. All right, double crochet in our chain 2 space, chain 2, no decreases on this side. We're just going to skip that first stitch, work our way down, and then decrease over our last 3 stitches. All right, here goes our decrease, wrap, insert, pull up, wrap your yarn, pull through 2, wrap your yarn, pull through all 3, and then a double crochet in our chain 2 space. All right, last row of decrease on this one side. All right, working our way all the way down. In our chain 2 space, chain 2, turn our work. Now we're going to do 14 rows of double crochet, guys. 14 rows of double crochet till we get to the top. And then we're going to repeat that for another panel, and we'll have our 2 back panels. Then we'll come back and attach everything all together and make the mock neck for this part of the top. All right, guys, so I'm going to end this, show you guys my end, how I begin my next row, and then you're going to do 14 rows, and then we're going to piece everything together. All right, chain 2, turn our work, and you know what to do. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. All right, guys, so we have our back panels here, as you can see. You won't be able to see the whole thing on the camera, but we have our back panels here. They match up, they line up. So you want to put them together like this. And what we're going to do is slip stitch across the top and then slip stitch to this corner right here of our sleeve. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Just slip stitch this together. And then again on this side, so we're going to slip stitch on this side, and then we're going to slip stitch across the top. I have my 2 right sides together. I'm working on my wrong sides facing out. I like to use a smaller hook to attach everything together. And because this is on the opposite side, I'm going to insert my hook backwards and go and kind of pull my yarn so that I can get it facing my direction. Alright, so I'm going to insert. This is actually just kind of something that I do to attach. And we're going to secure like that. And now we're going to go across the tops of both stitches. And we're going to slip stitch. So across the top. Make sure when you go across the top, you're under both. Pull it out and slip stitch. Alright, so this is what we're going to do all the way down. And then on our side as well, we're going to go across the top like this. And we're going to place slip stitches across the top. So we have slip stitch across the top. We're all together. Now we're going to slip stitch across the side again until we get to the top of right here. So I'm just going to take both tails, pull them through, secure them like this. I'm just going to go in, pull up both, and slip stitch across. So yes, it may be a little bit difficult to slip stitch across with 2 tails, but I just want to hide one of my tails in, and I guess that's as far as it wants to go. And then we're just going to slip stitch all the way until the armpit. Alright, so go ahead and repeat this on both sides, and then I'll show you guys how we do our mock neck. Alright guys, so we have our sides stitched up and our top stitched up, and now what we're going to do is flip it inside out so that all our lines are clean. Alright. Okay, now we've been flipped inside out so all our lines are clean. And it may look a little bit weird right now, but when you wear it, it's going to be all flush to your body. We're now going to make our mock neck. So in order to do that, I am going to be starting from this end. So right where our seam is, we're going to be starting from this end, and we're going to end where this seam is. So I'm going to put 2 double crochets in every double crochet on the side But when we get here, we're going to put 3 double crochets because it's a turning and we want it to turn. And then we're going to put 1 double crochet, 3 in our turning, and then 2 along the 4 rows. So let's begin that. Starting off with our slip knot. We're going to insert our hook, grab our slip knot, pull everything tight, chain 2. All right, we're going to put another double crochet right in that space. 2 double crochets here. 2 double crochets. All right, 2 more double crochets here. 2 double crochets here. Where our stitch marker is, we're going to put 3 double crochet, because when you have a turning, you always want to make sure you turn it. Now 1 across the top of every stitch, so 1 and 1. And now 3 in our turning. And now 2 until we get to our seam. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to put 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way down. So you guys know, skip the first one, and then we're going to put our last double crochet in our chain 2 space. So here we are coming up on the end of this second row. And I like to do 2 rows for my mock neck. You guys can do 3, 4. You can do more rows if you like, if you have a taller neck. 2 rows usually works for me. But before you fasten off, you'll chain about 40. And that is to tie your neck together. So I'm just going to keep going until I chain about 40. Then I'm going to fasten off, reattach to the other side, chain another 40, and then I'll show you guys how I chain the bottom part of my back, and the top will be done. So to reattach, we're going to make a slip knot, find our second point, find our second row, secure it, and chain 40 or 50 or however many you want, you know, however many you want for your neck. I'm gonna chain my number. All right, so the last steps, last few slip knots, I'm gonna use this section right here. Insert my hook. I actually want this to be secure, so I'm going to make a single crochet, pull everything together, chain 2, double crochet. I just want security, guys, in my piece so that nothing comes apart. And then make 70 chains, 70 or 80. I'm gonna make this just a little bit long. And this is what was going to tie our back together. So we're going to do this on the opposite side. Alright guys, and there you have it, our mock neck. You can't really see it until you put it on, but that's how we did it. We're sleeveless. This is our seam. This is how our back look. You can go ahead and snip off your final tails. Did my chain, so you tie down there, and then you tie up here at the neck, and you are all done. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye.